we have a simple food day happening where I want to make some soup and I want to make some pancakes for my daughter to have an easy snack on hand for her. Before any of that happens, I do feel the need to get this dishwasher running. It just, the sound of a running dishwasher means clean to me, and so that's always very motivating. Do you ever just get like caught doing random cleaning tasks? Because I've just decided now that this sink has to be cleaned out immediately. It's fine because my ground beef is thawing anyways, but it's just funny. Every piece of cleaning that I do is on the fly like this. I don't have like any type of set routine for cleaning. And so this is how all of my cleaning happens. If you too find yourself randomly cleaning, know that you're not alone. Okay, this is so much better. Okay, now back to my job that I was doing, which is making pancakes for my daughter. And we'll put some blueberries in this. And milk. To be honest with you guys, I don't really think of myself as being the best with food for my toddler. I really want to feed her high protein, healthy stuff. I know the benefits, I know what she should be eating, but sometimes it's hard to actually get that to happen. Honestly, not because she's picky, but just because we eat at very different times, and so just feeding her what we eat doesn't work all that well for us. I really hope I'm not raising a picky eater. Obviously, I have no idea because she's my first kid. But this is one way that I have found is easy for us and decently healthy, is I make these pancakes that are honestly not that tasty to like me and my husband, but she really likes them. They're full of protein. I put a ton of eggs in them, and really only really clean ingredients go in. And then that's one really easy way to keep good food in her belly. So that is what I am making right now, is just some pancakes that we will keep in the fridge and kind of reheat for her for the next couple of days. I had bananas to help sweeten it, and she just loves the taste of bananas, and bananas are really cheap. I also add a little bit of honey to help with the sweetening of it. A little bit of vanilla for taste. Just gonna empty out this blueberry bag. Instead of flour, I add sourdough starter to this. With a lot of it. And then the last thing I add is a little bit of milk. I almost forgot that you do have to add baking powder for this. This is a critical ingredient. Get frying these. I want to express again that I am not the expert when it comes to this. By that I mean feeding toddlers. But the other things that I have tried are really healthy muffins. Those you can kind of make in a big batch. And that is pretty healthy, pretty easy to sneak some nutrients in that. I've also like having homemade tortillas, raw milk cheese, and some good meat on hand to make quesadillas. That always seems to be really easy for us to get quick and something that she really likes. I've also seen people mixing up chicken with like hummus or putting like yogurt on top and doing like a, that sounds bad, but you know, like a yogurt sauce on a chicken, and their toddlers have tolerated that. So I feel like this is such a mom of one problem, and I feel like part of that's because we haven't adjusted our schedule yet. It's still really, really nice for us to do basically an in-home date night every night, and so it still just makes a lot of sense for us to eat at different times. I think as families get larger, it makes more sense to feed everybody at one time, and I hope and pray that that's a season that we enter into. But for right now, this is a really good way for us to feed the toddlers, and I hope that maybe some other moms of one can relate and maybe take a little bit away from this. No matter when you get time to yourself, I think it's important for moms to take even just 10 minutes to themselves to do something that's for them. That is one of the reasons why I have loved using my Omnilux Contour Face and why I'm excited to introduce them as a sponsor of today's video. The Omnilux Contour Face is so easy to use. It just takes 10 minutes per day to get a whole host of benefits for your skin. I love that it doesn't actually plug into a wall, so you can do this while multitasking or while you're relaxing. Sometimes I do it after my toddler goes to bed. Other times I just do it while she's playing around the house. I love the Omnilux Contour Face specifically for anti-aging and reducing wrinkles. I have big expressions, so I do have some wrinkles, and I love using this to treat myself and help my skin in that way. This is a natural, non-invasive approach to skin rejuvenation and collagen production. That enhances the overall glow and appearance of my skin, which I love. The Omnilux Contour Face has a whole host of clinically proven benefits. It reduces inflammation, enhances skin firmness and elasticity, and it boosts collagen production and elastin. There are a lot more benefits. It would take forever to go through them all because that's how great this is for your skin. Perhaps one of my favorite things, in addition to all of that, about the Omnilux Contour Face is that I can do it at home. And for the price of 2 to 3 in-clinic light treatments, I can own this for myself, and I can do it in the comfort of my own home, which helps me to be so much more relaxed. If you are ready to take some time to yourself and invest in your skin, make sure to head to the link in my description to receive 10% off your Omnilux Contour Face. Thanks again to Omnilux for sponsoring today's video. Okay, I got the kitchen cleaned up after the pancakes, and now we are gonna make burgers. I told my husband I wanted to make cheeseburger soup, and he said, why don't I just make cheeseburgers? Those sound really good. So we're gonna make cheeseburgers instead of cheeseburger soup. I'm going to start by mixing up the burgers and patting them up. I'm gonna also make some fries just because that's really easy and cheap. I always bake our burgers whenever I make burgers, and I always get a lot of questions about that. I think I do around 375 for about 20 minutes. It's not really a science, I just make sure they're done, but I find baking burgers to be so easy and just as tasty. It's also the easiest way, if you don't own a grill, which we do not, to make burgers for a big crowd. While I make this lunch, I want to tell you guys about a piece of advice that I was hearing a lot that just flat out did not work for me. So this advice was to wake up before your children, in my case, my child. And I heard this advice probably like you literally all over. I heard it constantly. It was always like, it'll absolutely change your life to wake up before your kids. And so I thought, sweet, I should totally do this. I tried it for about 2 weeks, and the long story short is that it did not work at all for me. And that was kind of for a number of reasons that it took me a little while to figure out. But I wanted to make a video about it because I find that I never hear the opposite point of view, and for me it wasn't working, and I just wanted to kind of make you feel better if it doesn't work for you, I guess. So I want to talk about kind of the reasons why it didn't work and why ultimately I wake up right when my toddler wakes up. I do not wake up before my toddler, and we don't have some extensive morning routine before she gets up. Okay, I'm gonna get started on these potatoes and kind of talk you guys through the reasons why I felt like this advice just didn't apply to me. It wasn't worth it for me to do. So the first reason is that I was so tired. I didn't want to lose time with my husband in the evening, especially because I have sisters who have older children, and they have shared their wisdom with me that right now is the time where you have just so much control. Right now being I have only one kid and they're young, and I can really enforce a bedtime. I have so much control over the bedtime, and that's an amazing time to spend time with your husband after they go to sleep. And so of course I really wanted to do that. I wanted to spend as much time as possible with my husband. And so I was finding that either one, I was really tired, I was waking up tired, or the time in the evening with my husband was cut short. Both things I definitely did not want to happen. So that is the first reason I felt like this just didn't really work for me. The next reason is that sometimes toddlers don't do exactly what you want them to do. So my daughter wakes up at 7, like clockwork, always wakes up at 7, except for the times that she doesn't. And so I was banking on her waking up at 7, so I would, set an alarm for around 6:15. That gives me 45 minutes to read my Bible or make a coffee, do whatever I was wanting to do in the morning, maybe even work out. But for the days that she didn't wake up at 7, she woke up at 6:30, she woke up at 6:45, she woke up at 5:30, then laid back down for a while, or really was wiggly in her sleep. I found myself almost being like so frustrated, not necessarily with her, just frustrated that this wasn't working the way it was supposed to work. And that was so much less helpful to me than even getting the time alone was. I kind of created this problem, like I don't get the time alone in the morning that I need. A problem that was never a problem before, mind you. I was totally fine before, just waking up whenever she woke up. It was great, we had lovely mornings together. And then I decided that everyone swears by this advice, so that I need to do it too. And then it kind of created a whole host of issues, all to try and solve an issue that really wasn't there in the first place. We randomly have sliced American cheese on hand right now, which will make my husband so excited. He loves basic old sliced American cheese on a burger. So that's great. So once I decided to drop the idea that this maybe didn't need to happen, I found myself to be just honestly so much happier. I felt that every day, every morning was going a lot more smoothly. It was just took the pressure off of me to do this, and it took the pressure off my daughter, which obviously she didn't realize there was pressure there. But I felt like there was a lot of pressure on her to sleep in to the exact time as if she was a robot, which she's not, of course. And so I felt like it just took off a lot of pressure on our family. My husband and I were getting all the alone time that we wanted in the evening, and I wasn't having to be super tired or put all this pressure on this part of the day.
Right as I was in the middle of lunch, we had a guest come over, which was such a sweet surprise. I wanted to end this video by reminding you that if there is something that doesn't work for you in your motherhood journey or doesn't work for your family, to drop it even if everyone's saying to do it. I hope that this video was encouraging to you, and I will see you guys here next week.